Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Bob Bookshelf. And today I'm starting a new reading vlog. It has taken BookTube by storm. Blank chooses my TBR. I was trying to think of something really cool, trying to think of something unique, some way to pick my TBR that no one has done. I couldn't. My brain wasn't working, but I do have a best friend, and my best friend was willing to help me out. So this is my best friend picks my TBR. My best friend is Molly. She lives in Ohio, and she obviously cannot be here with me today in Michigan. Besides the fact that she lives in Ohio, we're social distancing. So she Snapchatted me her answers, and then throughout the vlog, I'll probably be asking her like reasoning behind picking these. I told her she could use any criteria. You can use the cover, the title, the actual synopsis, whatever you want to pick them. So I'll just be talking to her about her thought process and giving her my opinions. I have one veto, so I can veto any of her three choices, and her three choices come from three different categories. The first is pick a book off of my TBR cart, which is behind me. This shelf, it's only like 7 books I think on there. I don't have a really full TBR cart like a lot of people do. So she's picking one book from that. And all of those ones are ones that I want to read since they're on the cart, so I shouldn't veto that pick. That should be fine. She's picking one book off of my Kindle, off of the unread books on my Kindle. There are a lot of thrillers on here. There's a good chance I'll get a thriller off of this, which is fine. I love thrillers. And then she's picking one book off of my bookshelves that I own and have not read. There's a lot of books I haven't read on there. It's kind of anxiety inducing, so this will at least allow me to read 2 books that I own but haven't read, and one off my Kindle. So without further ado, I'm going to open Snapchat and I am going to see what she has picked for me. And she's like really nervous for me to see these, so I'm sure they'll be fine. From my Kindle unread list, her choice is Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. This, I don't think it's a thriller. It's like a survival type story. I think a girl gets, maybe her boyfriend's there with her. Let me open my Kindle. Well, no, I'm just gonna go through the choices and then I'll open my Kindle and see what it's actually about. But this is not a bad choice. I'm happy with this choice. Good job, Molly. She's playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I'm jealous. I don't have a Switch. I've never played Animal Crossing. I've played like a little bit on my phone. But I'm really jealous, but I'm not gonna go buy a Switch just for Animal Crossing. I cannot afford that in today's climate. I can't do it, but whatever. From my owned unread books, her choice is Black Eyed Susans, which is a thriller. And this is a book that I have had for a very long time. I got it off Book Outlet when I used to order Book Outlet all the time. It's by Julia Heberlin. Finally, the book from my TBR cart is When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore, and I'm really excited about this choice. This is a shorter book, I think. I'll grab that one right now. When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore. I have read 2 of their books previously. I have read Wild Beauty and I've read Deep and Darkest Red, and then I've read half of Blanca and Roja, and I've stopped reading that, but not because I wasn't liking it. I just need to get back into it at a later date. So anyways, this is one of their first books, their second book, I believe. It's about a girl hiding the truth, a boy with secrets from his past, and 4 sisters who could ruin them both. I'm sure it is diverse. I'm sure the writing is beautiful, so I am excited about this pick. Thank you, Molly. And this is also a shorter book, so we're doing great. The Starless Sea fell, and I'm really upset about it. I am so sorry. I need to pick you up. But the book I need is right here, Black Eyed Susans by Julia Heberlin. So these picks are also helping me with my goal of reading more backlist books and not just reading all of the 2020 releases at once. Black Eyed Susans, I know it has to be like 2015? 2015, wow, nailed it. So I guess we're just gonna figure out the truth of what happened to her. Oh, it's very small print. I'm not gonna veto this one just right off the bat. I'm gonna give all of these a shot. I don't think I'm gonna veto any of them right now because I'm pleased. I'm like, I don't want to say I'm surprisingly pleased, but good job, Molly. So I'm not going to veto this right off the bat. It might end up being horrible and I DNF it and have her pick another one. But right now, I'll give it a shot. Be Not Far From Me is from 2020. Wow, there's the cover. It's reflecting because it's on my Kindle. But I pulled up the Goodreads on my phone. Ashley knows the truth deep in her bones that the world is not tame. She goes hiking in the Smokies with her friends. People are not tame either. She catches her boyfriend with another girl, and then she goes off running and has to survive because she gets hurt while she runs away. Kayla from Books and Law gave it 4 stars. So yeah, I'm excited for this one too. So I'm not gonna veto any of these off the bat, and I'm gonna tell her that good news right now. Hi Molly, just letting you know I'm currently filming for your reading vlog that you picked my books, and I am not vetoing any of your choices right now. Maybe later, but for right now, I'm gonna read all of them. I put on my favorite filter.
girl says, hold on, let me find it. Even when my foot is flayed open and I'm alone in the woods, I am not calling for help. Bitch, just call for help!
The book I started with was Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. I'm 35% in. I want to try and get to 50 before I go to sleep. I'm liking it. There was something at the beginning that kind of gave me pause. In the synopsis, it says that she sees her boyfriend sleeping with another girl, and when she discovers this, she punches her boyfriend in the face, kind of like without a second thought. She just goes ahead and punches him, and that just, it didn't sit right with me. But since then, I've liked pretty much everything. Once she kind of ran off and got hurt and got stranded and now has to, you know, make her way out of the woods or survive or whatever. So that initial act of violence it just kind of took me aback, how it was just like, yeah, I punched him, whatever. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's a quick read and it's an easy read. I really like the way it's written. A possum just ate her toe. Oh my god. A possum ate her toe. So I am 88% done with Be Not Far From Me, and I'm really liking it. It made me cry a little bit. Not like full out sob, but like I got a little teary. That's why I had to stop, because I was getting a little emotional. And books don't make me cry very often. Like it takes a bit for a book to make me cry. And Molly's nowhere to be found, so I've been like texting her like I'm crying, and she hasn't answered, but it's fine. So I'm going to finish the last little bit of that right now. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I think for, you know, a random choice my best friend made, I'm pleased. I'm really pleased. Like the most harrowing parts are over, I think, because she's made it out of the woods. But dude, some of that stuff, like when she had to cut part of her own foot off, and then she just carried the decaying, amputated piece. Oh my god. Like, I know Honey's gotta do what she's gotta do to get herself out of the woods alive, because it's not gonna be in one piece. We clearly have two pieces. That's just rough. Oh, and another thing I wanted to talk about. It hasn't so much come up now, but like in the beginning of the book and then the first little bit that she's like stranded, lost in the woods, she does talk about her period a lot, because like at the beginning her boyfriend's like, oh, are you on your period? She goes, yeah, sorry about it. And then when she's like, well, you know, I'm bleeding from my foot, but I'm also bleeding elsewhere. She doesn't want to be the one that dies in the woods because of a tampon or a I cannot say it, toxic shock syndrome. So I really like how, you know, she talks about her period. I finished Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis, and I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. The ending was fine. It was nothing that blew me away. It was nothing that amazed me. The beginning and the ending were fine. The beginning, obviously, I talked about that one when she punches her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend. That kind of threw me off. And then, yeah, the ending was just fine. But, you know, the part where she actually had to survive and just the writing and, like, her own personal, like, mental journey, obviously along with the physical stuff, because that was gnarly. But, yeah, I just really liked the writing. I don't even know how to describe it. It was good. The surviving part was great. The beginning and the end were okay, so I gave it 4 stars. And so for the first book out of 3 that Molly chose for me, we're off to a good start. Hopefully the other 2 can live up. I think that When the Moon Was Ours will definitely keep the good trend going. Black Eyed Susans, you just never know. Like I feel like thrillers are so hit or miss. So I'm hoping that one's a hit. We'll see. I don't know which I'll pick up next. Hopefully Molly will come out of hiding today and I can talk to her about this book, so I have something to like pop up here about reactions. And I don't know if I'll start something right away, probably not till tonight, closer to bed. I need to do some editing. I don't know if it's warm enough to go outside and do yard work, but I'm just bored. We went grocery shopping today because that's still allowed, obviously. It wasn't bad. We could not find, for the life of us, flour. We finally found 2 small packages at a gas station. We could not find flour, and I'm so upset about it. And there was no frozen bread dough or frozen like rolls, and that's really what I wanted. So now we have flour, and I did already have yeast, so I can make some of my own bread, but it was rough out there.
We each took a day. We got the topics we're going to be talking about this week and the standards we're going to focus on. So we each are in charge of a day and putting a lesson together for that day. So I was in charge of 2.
So when it's like basil or oregano or thyme, it's an herb, but when it's a name, it's herb, right?
I'm sitting here working on my nails, waiting for some to dry. I am about 60 pages into Black Eyed Susans, and it's fine so far. Like, I'm not completely drawn in yet, but it's fine. It's basically, it's told in two timelines, 1995 and present, whenever. Well, it was written in 2015, so probably 2015. And, like, in 1995, she goes by Tessie, and then in current day, she's Tessa. And in the flashbacks, it's all her with her therapist. And she's blind in that part, and then in the present day part, she can't see. So she's gonna get her sight back, I guess, at some point. She has to. Basically, what happened was she was found in a ditch or a grave or something with a bunch of like bones and one other body that they could actually identify. And it was like a ditch full of Black Eyed Susans, so that's why they're called the Black Eyed Susans. And she obviously survived. And now in the present day, the person that they... What's the word? They found guilty. The person they found guilty.
Convicted?
The person they convicted is on death row, but they are working, and she is working now to get him off death row because she does not think it was him. I'm not wanting to give up on it yet, so we'll see. I've just been sitting on the couch and I've been like almost falling asleep, so I decided to come outside and kind of walk around a little bit, just walk around the house. I'm probably not gonna go on like a real walk because it's a little chilly. When I checked in this morning, I was like on page 60 something of Black Eyed Susans, so I've made it to page 100, like 102, and I'm liking it. It's just kind of slow, just a little bit slow for me, and it's definitely just in general a slower read than say Be Not Far From Me. And I do like the concept of the alternating timelines. And in the 1995 timeline where I said she was blind, she's gotten her sight back, but she hasn't really told anyone that she's gotten it back. She's kind of just like analyzing everyone and how they're acting around her, especially her therapist, and just like kind of taking everything in. And I think that's really interesting. I wouldn't call it a thriller right now, but I mean, it's fine. I'm sure once things pick up, like I'll probably like it and it'll be a faster read, but we're 100 pages in and it's fine. And I talked to Molly a little bit. I'll put the screenshots up of like kind of her thought process behind these books. And I don't know if this is for all three of them, but for Be Not Far From Me, at least, she said she wanted to pick something that was like the opposite of our current situation, which would be like the opposite of, you know, socially distancing ourselves and staying home. We both have stay-at-home orders in Michigan and Ohio, so we're just not getting out. And Be Not Far From Me, obviously, even though Ashley, the main character, is alone for most of the novel, she's in the wilderness, and yeah, it's not like she's enjoying it to its full potential because she's like half dead, but like I really like that thought process behind it. And she said for the Black Eyed Susans category, which is my owned unread physical books, she said she originally picked The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, and I do want to read that one, but I told her I would have vetoed it anyways. But anywho, she said she originally picked that one, but it's kind of about like someone being trapped in their house or stuck in a house, and she didn't want me to have to read that in our current times. So that's actually really like thoughtful and interesting reasoning, because no shade, I kind of thought she might just go off like cover or title. So it's cool to see that that's not the case. And my neighbor's out on his lawnmower. If we're really doing something, you probably hear me talking. Oh my god. So yeah, I just wanted to come outside and get a little bit of fresh air and talk a little bit about the book. I think I showed it maybe in a clip last night of what I was doing, but I have this coloring app on my phone, a Pixel coloring app, and it's so fucking addictive. And my sister has a stylus, so I got a stylus and it's so much easier than using my finger. And I'm just like fucking coloring all the pictures. Oh my, it's so addicting. I cannot stop doing it. Like, it's a problem. I came outside because it's kind of nice. It's not nice enough for just this tank top. It's a little chilly, but whatever. But I got a delivery and it is a new plant. And it is a plant that I already have one of, but the one that I have is kind of sad. So I'll show you the one I have. It's a Triostar Stromanth, and I wanted it because it's pink and beautiful. And mine is just kind of sad. This one is from Ohio, so a lot less shipping distance. It's warmer now at night, or when it was shipping. So we're gonna open this one up and see how it goes. I have sanitizing wipes because I'm gonna wipe down my package, because you never know. In this day and age, you never know. So let's see what our plant looks like. So here is my new buddy, and he's definitely in a lot better condition than the one that I have, and there's definitely just a lot more leaves, and they're all in super good condition. Some of the roots are coming out of the bottom, so I'm gonna give it a little bit to acclimate to my house and the environment, and then I will repot it because it's too big for its home. But this one looks a lot better, so I'm really happy with this purchase. I need to give it a little bit of water right now, but other than that, yay! Yesterday was a flop as far as both reading and vlogging. I did not read at all. I did not film anything. The first half of the day was a weird mental health day. And then I made the decision that I won't be working anymore until things are quote unquote back to normal. So now I have who knows how long, at least a couple of weeks ahead of me with no work, which is fine. It'll be an adjustment. It's a nice break because once things do go back to normal, well, whenever that is, we'll be busy. So it's a nice little break to get ready for that. I read this morning while I listened to the new Dua Lipa and the new 5 Seconds of Summer albums. I baked my own loaf of bread and made French toast for breakfast brunch. I did some yard work. That was fun and exciting. I got a new plant, as you saw, and now I'm just going to relax. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to the new Jessie Reyez album. I'll probably end up back on Dua Lipa though, let's be real, because I'm just obsessed with Dua right now. So yeah, I'm gonna read. I'm on page 184. It's still just slow. Nothing too mind-blowing has happened. I made good progress in that little reading session. I'm on page 2, I don't know, 2 something now. I made good progress, but I'm still just bored. I just want something exciting to happen. I just want there to be a big reveal, or I don't know. I'm on like part 2 officially now, and it kind of changed the format of things.
I don't know whether she's dead. Her lips are bluish gray. But some girls wear blue lipstick. It's goth.
Like, it's nothing that I'm going to rave about, I don't think. I did ask Molly kind of why she picked it, and her reasoning was pretty simple because it was something that she thinks she would pick. And she said it was something that, like, she doesn't see me or, like, I don't usually talk about. And I said, but I love thrillers. And she goes, yeah, but it's more like you usually talk about young adult ones, which is true. I do read adult thrillers, obviously, but I do think I talk about the young adult ones more. So her reasoning is pretty simple. It seems like something she would like and she would pick up, which is completely fine. I haven't done any reading since I updated yesterday. It's Saturday morning. I started watching Tiger King on Netflix last night, and I got 6 episodes in, so I have 1 more episode that I'll finish today, and then I want to watch The Circle Brazil and Nailed It's new season comes out on Wednesday, so I'm super excited for that. So yeah, I haven't read anything, but I do want to finish the book today. That's my goal, is to finish Black Eyed Susans today. This morning I'm going to film a little bit of Sims while I have the opportunity. It's really gloomy and rainy today, so that's no fun. Here's a picture of one of Molly's cats playing with one of the Christmas gifts I got them, because I'm a great gift giver and I am the cat's godmother, so I have to spoil them. My voice is kind of weird today, huh? I am over page 300, so I am almost done. I'm officially on part 3, which is now, I guess, we're getting POV of her childhood best friend Lydia, who has kind of went missing or died or something, I don't know. And it's gotten kind of interesting in that Lydia has a surprise daughter who just showed up, who shares paternal DNA with the bones of a baby that were found in the grave where our main character was found. So Lydia, they're assuming that the baby in the grave was like fathered by the guy that did this. So now they're also assuming that Lydia's daughter is fathered by the guy that did this. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. It's still just slow and not as exciting as I want it to be. So I did finish Black Eyed Susan's yesterday. I ended up giving it 3 stars. That might even be a little generous. I didn't want to give it 2 stars because I just gave a book 2 stars and that one was way worse. It ended up being fine. The writing was fine. The overall premise was okay. It just was never what I wanted it to be. And maybe that's just my own fault. This is Donald, by the way. You can see his little hat sticking up. Maybe that was my own fault that I just wanted it to be something it wasn't. I didn't love the POV changes in the 3rd part. We got POV from her childhood best friend who ended up playing a really big part in the story, and it just didn't work out for me personally for being so concerned in the beginning, and then part 2 even having like countdown to the execution of this guy they convicted, for that being such a big plot point and for it being so hard for our main character to like finally come to a decision that yes, she wanted to get him off death row. For that being so important, at least to me, it felt like it was really important. And then it was wrapped up in a few sentences in the epilogue. And I was like really let down by that because I thought that was like the cool part. Not my favorite, but what can you do? And I did, if I can find it, start When the Moon Was Ours. So this is the 3rd book that Molly picked. This was off my TBR cart. I am only 30 so pages in, but like it was just kind of a shock to my system. Like Black Eyed Susan's was an easy read. The writing wasn't too flowery, too intricate, anything like that. And then this one, it's just like the way Anna Marie McLemore writes is just so precise and beautiful and lush, and there's so many details in everything that you really have to slow down. And for me, that can sometimes be hard because I like to read really fast through things. So it's definitely taking a second to adjust. But so far, I'm really intrigued by the premise. As you just saw in a very embarrassing sped up dance clip, I'm trying to teach myself Dua Lipa choreography. And I'm just trying to do things that get me away from screens. Of course, I'm looking at a screen to learn the choreography, but not like staring. I'm trying to do stuff to get me off the couch, away from the screens, just up and moving because it's kind of gloomy and rainy and windy out today, so I don't really want to go outside, but just things to keep me active while I'm, you know, at my house, trapped forever. I've been really sucking at vlogging the last couple days. I don't even remember the last time I talked to you, actually talked to you about When the Moon Was Ours. I think I was only 30 something pages in, maybe the last time I actually updated. I'm now almost done. I have probably like 50 pages left and I'm liking it. I really like the characters and I really like the writing. I just don't know if I love how it's coming together as a whole. This year, with all our time off, we've been working, and we have this whole bed pretty much ready. And it was flowers, and now it's gonna be our vegetable garden. So I'm gonna show you. So we did this whole bed. It goes all the way down. We didn't dig that one up or that big green one you see down there, but this was hard work. We had so many. We saved some of the bulbs. These ones, I have no idea what they are, but there were so many of them, and like this is just torn apart. There was like 20 of these all hooked together, and it was so hard to get out of the ground. And then we had some of these white ones and these ones, and we're gonna plant these elsewhere. It's been a couple days since I finished When the Moon Was Ours, and I'm finally here to talk about my overall feelings on it and to wrap up this vlog as a whole. Here's today's nail look. Wow, beautiful. When the Moon Was Ours, I ended up probably giving this, I think I put it as a 4, but put in the review 3.5, or I put a 3 and put 3.5. I don't know. But I'm finding the rating system I use, usually when I finish a book, off the top of my head, I'm like, that's this many stars. But then I'm also using a spreadsheet called the Call Pile system, and I will link that down below. And that kind of rates based on, you can give an individual rating to like different categories, like characters, writing, overall enjoyment, and then it'll average it out and rate it. And I find that, like with this book, I finished it, and I was feeling in my head 3 stars, but when I did my individual ratings, it came out to 4. So then I was finding myself tweaking those individual ratings to get it down to a 3 in the spreadsheet. And I don't like doing that. I don't know if I'm just gonna stop doing this rating system. I don't want to, because I really do like the spreadsheet and the statistics that it uses. But I guess I could just not do the ratings part and do everything else. That aside, my overall feelings on this were that I really liked the writing, but sometimes it got to a point where it was just too much. And I think it got to a point where it was hindering my enjoyment, just because some of these sentences I was like, what does that even mean? And I liked the characters and the diversity and the representation that this book has, but it was just not coming together for me in a way that I wanted it to. It wasn't coming together in a way that just like completely captured my attention. I will admit that I did not fully understand everything that I was supposed to understand, or everything that was being explained. As far as the plot goes, there was like the simple plot of this is what's happening, these characters are doing these actions, which was fine. But then there was the this is why, and this is the magical realism part of it, and this is the how, that I was just kind of like, huh? And I think that again has to do with sometimes the writing just being too much. So I don't know. I want to like Anna Marie McLemore. This is the 3rd book I've read by them. And so far I've given them a 4-star, a 3-star, and a 3.5 star for this one. And I really want to like their books, but I just don't know if they're for me. Because they always have intriguing premises, beautiful covers, beautiful writing, but at the end of the day, they're not working out for me. So this might be a sign. Wrapping up this vlog as a whole, I am pleased with the books that Molly chose for me. I think she did a really good job. Did I love all of them? No. But I read all of them. I didn't ask for any vetoes. I didn't DNF any of them. And I did really enjoy one, Be Not Far From Me by Benny McGinnis. That one was really good. So I'm glad that I did this. If anything, it took 3 books off of my TBR, which that's always great. It allowed me to read 2 backlist titles. That's great. And it just made me read some things that I wouldn't have been picking up right away. And so I do thank Molly for that, for picking these books and for giving good explanations of them and for letting me talk to her about how they're going, even though she might not have always cared. And that's it. That's my best friend chooses my TBR. Our friendship's not ruined. So at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for. Our friendship is not ruined, and I did like these books. So thank you to Molly for picking my TBR. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.